Hi everybody, I'm working on a ball bearing today, which is a device that will make rotational motion really smooth. Normally we do it with metal, but it's also possible to do it in Tinkercad and 3D print it. Let me just get all the elements out here first. What's going to be in here? The middle is going to be a cylinder. The outer part is going to be a tube. Between those two, we're going to have a torus-shaped hole that we cut out, just as we did in the spinning flower activity. And then in the hole that we cut out, we put a bunch of spheres that will fit in perfectly. So we're going to make a bunch of copies of that. So let me think about let's put these blue things off to the side for now and just get the orange things arranged. I would love to, let's start with the outside. And I want this to, right, so the radius of the tube, let's just make it 100 like the last thing. So that would mean the radius is 50 if we want the diameter to be 100. And that's good for breaking it down. And it's good. I'm sorry, what am I trying to say? It's good for making adjustments to it when you start with 100, then you can be sure about the proportions. Great, so what's the wall thickness? I don't know, let's make it 10, which I think is the same as the last activity. So we have a 100 millimeter wide ring on the outside, and if the wall thickness is 10, that means it's a diameter of 80 on the inside. And then just like that last activity, you'll remember I wanted to line this up perfectly on the grid because it's just going to make life so much easier for me if I can center everything the same way. That looks good. My center is exactly on a cross point. Cool. I'm going to move this to the same cross point, and actually, let's just make it 10 tall. And I'm going to want to stretch this so that I shouldn't use shift. I want the sides to be a little bit less than 80. So 78 is very good. 78 by 78. Now I should be able to center this perfectly and have just a little gap, and it would in fact be a 1 millimeter gap. And I think that's centered. I'm going to look at it from the bottom. Yes, the center point is exactly on the cross. So just to review here, I have a radius of 50, wall thickness 10, and then this inner piece, well, it doesn't matter what you see here, but the sides are 78 by 78, and that gives us a 1 millimeter gap. So all of this should look familiar from the last activity. So far, it is completely the same. I'm taking the tube that I want to chop a piece out of, and I make it 5 wide, the radius of the tube 5, meaning that it's actually 10 tall. And then the radius is going to be, I forget what it was in the last thing. If I say 40, is that right? Yes, I think that's it, 40. I want the radius to be 40 and the tube to be 5. And it looks like the only way to line this up is going to be from the bottom. And I think that's it. I've got it lined up. Cool. So what we did before was to merge these pieces. I'm going to change the strategy just a little bit. Oh, wrong one. I wanted to grab the blue piece. I may need to zoom in. There it is. Change it to a hole. And I can go ahead and merge all 3 of these pieces together.